A film crew from the Netherlands was allowed into a Texas high school, prompting outrage from parents in the community. Trustees Sandy Walker and Micah Young were involved, later apologizing for the incident but failing to provide clarity on the purpose of the film. The crew, associated with an Evangelical Network, raised concerns about right-wing propaganda and student privacy violations. Amid backlash, Walker resigned, but Young has yet to step down. Parents vow to pursue legal action if both don't resign. This story is from The Friendly Atheist, published February 19th, 2024. Helen, what are your thoughts?
All right. Now, I don't know about, my fellow panelists and all those wonderful nonprofits viewers out there, but the actions of the principal seem like pretty fucking hypocritical in the wider context of Christians rallying to protect children, and yet allow a foreign film crew to come into a high school in Keller, Texas, and film students and staff without any transparency and basically without parental permission, and basically pulling these wools over people's eyes and being like, no, we have, and the principal and a couple other people in the school board were basically like, no, we have permission, we do, and then they find out later, no, they don't.
The principal was not on site when this occurred.
I know. I'm talking about the transparency, not the fact that he was on site. And that's the thing that kind of grinds my gears, is that when I hear, the Christians talk about, protecting children, and that, they're the party of family values, but then they completely overstep and basically say but for Christian things, we don't actually have to get the parental permission. And that really drives me up a fucking wall, because I hate hypocrisy. So I do have more to say on this, but I'm going to, I like a little, I like to build. So, Cynthia, share.
I will share, Helen, because guess what? You want to know what?
What?
This story actually inspired me.
Oh, I hope, in a really good way.
I don't know. You tell me.
Okay, I'll tell you. I'll reserve it. I'll give you a judgment.
Okay, yeah, because Phoebe judges all the time, so Phoebe can judge too.
Okay.
So if I royally fuck up on my job and do something I know I have no business doing,
right,
I am just going to say the same thing that Sandy Walker said at the end of her tweet Facebook apology.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to end it with a Bible verse like Genesis 9:18-20, which is the story of how Ham told his brothers Shem and Japheth that Noah was passed out drunk in his tent and he was naked. And Shem and Japheth covered him up and walked backwards so they couldn't see their dad's junk, because ew.
Gross.
Yeah, I agree. And then Noah wakes up out of his drunken stupor, and he curses Ham and Canaan, and he praises Shem and Japheth. That's what I'm going to do, because obviously, if you end your apologies every time with a Bible verse, no matter what, you are fine. Am I right?
That's
Am I right?
It sounds logical to me. So I'm gonna start quoting from, when Abraham tried to kill Isaac, and then it will make everything go away.
Perfect. Oh, yeah, it's perfect. It's fine. It's fine.
I'm gonna end mine all my emails with Jesus wept.
For this one.
Jesus wept.
For this one.
Baby Jesus is gonna cry.
Phoebe's gonna cry on my commentary. Oh yeah, but I'm actually supposed to comment on this story. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. The producers of God, Jesus, Trump have no business filming in a Texas public school, interviewing students, and wearing badges given to them by trustees to go all over the school and do whatever the hell that they wanted. Because that's basically what they did. The two trustees, Sandy and Micah, are so full of Balaam donkey scat, it is not even funny. Why have you hit me these 3 times?
Oh,
You need
forsake
to
me.
read your Bible. Just read your Bible. That's what you need to do. That's the problem with
Oh,
all you
forsake
atheists.
me, for I have sinned, for I have
Yes, 'cause-
not indulged in the book of Christianity as much as I
Right.
should have done. I have
That's
instead indulged myself in the book of Judaism more
Right.
than I should have done. So forgive me, for I have sinned. And all that
Yes, you
malarkey.
have. Well, just go do 10 Hail Marys, 5 Glory Bees, and 15 Our
That's
Fathers.
a
and you have
Catholic.
the-
Yeah.
I
That's a
was
Catholic.
semi-Catholic, kind of, sort of. I mean, with the
I don't know what the laws are in other religions. I'm just saying that, if you, I guess, like, you just tell baby Jesus, you're like, baby Jesus, I'm so sorry.
Right.
And then everything's fine.
But I mean, but in seriousness, guys, like, it's what I have to like echo your sentiments, Ellen, when it comes to these people specifically with Sandy Walker and Micah Young were actually their trustee positions were funded by right-wing conservative PAC money that has been going all over the United States, putting people who have their particular values, which is Christo fascism, into to school board positions. That's what they've been doing, and so they decided to go all the way and talk to people from the Netherlands. Evangelisch Omroep TV. That's what they're called, and I know that I completely probably butchered that, but ask me if I care.
No, it was actually spot on.
Oh, it was? What? Okay. I didn't even like Google Translate to try to even say that word right.
Are you sure you're not from the Netherlands?
Nederlanders.
You know what? Phoebe, I know that you've already judged me, but I don't care. Anyway, but I'm really, but seriously, like, I'm just really remiss that they actually just sat there and decided to come in here. They were going to talk to students, get no permission, and then even Sandy Walker even had the nerve, the audacity, the unmitigated gall to actually say that I care so much about our students and we really believe in protecting them. But you didn't. You didn't, girl. You let these people come up in there, gave them badges, and told them to come up here and just do whatever the hell you want. Talk to me, talk to Micah, talk to little Timmy down the corner and everything like that, and then it'll be all hunky-dory. Even Hammett said, even in the article, that they found that there were drones, 3 drones that was actually circling Central High School, filming students as they were being dismissed from the high school. How in the world, especially with there's no parents around to say this is cool or nah, are able to do this? And it's really shitty that how people who may be on the left side of life are always accused of, if you have like lefty socialist, like I've been told many times that I bleed pink values or ideals, that you are one of those people that because you believe in choice, you believe in bodily autonomy, you believe in actually being able to choose the type of healthcare that you get for yourself, that you are against children and you don't believe in protecting children. But all that, particularly, that all goes out the window as soon as that child is born. As soon as that child is born, they don't care about a damn thing when it comes to kids. They don't care about protecting them. The only thing that they care about is their particular narrative. And it sucks. Phoebe?
You're missing something else here, which...
No, I'm not missing anything because I was waiting for you to fill it in.
You've had your say, love. You've had your say, love. Will you shut up and let me have my say, love?
Fired, everybody, on the nonprofits. Shots
Will
fired.
you shut up, love, and let me have my Kit Kat now? This woman is going to say her piece.
Conductor. Oh my God. Go ahead.
But anyway, you've missed out that...
What's happening?
Film crew
Did I miss something?
doing.
What's happening? What? Sorry. Go ahead.
Tell him to shut up.
Oi, shut up, will you? Shut up. Shut up. Anyway,
Go ahead, Phoebe.
The thing that annoyed me the most here was that they were creating false flag propaganda throughout what they were doing. They had a list of books that were banned and they had a bag full of these books, and they were putting them on the shelves in the library and then filming, look, all these books that are banned. Look at all these banned books that we put on the shelves. That's what got me the most here, is that it was so disingenuous here. It was so outrageous. It was so absurd what was going on here, that if you had written this down as the plot of like a B movie, you would have been laughed at and told, go away, that's stupid. That's really stupid. So you mean to tell me that you're going to set this whole scene where these two people who are on the board of trustees are going to hire a load of people from the Netherlands to come over, sneak their way in, stick a load of books in the library that they are then going to film and make out are, the school violating all the rules. They're not going to tell anybody that they're here. They're going to fly some drones around, and then they're going to sneak off as if nothing happened. You'd be laughed out of the building if you pitched that as a script. As they say, fiction is more believable than reality sometimes. And here is the thing. There are three main groups here who have been violated. You have the parents of the children themselves, and the employees of the school itself. Because those three groups did not have any say in this. If I rocked up to a school with Cynthia and Aaron, and Helen had given me a load of security tags for the three of us, and we started wandering around the school and hadn't told anybody, we would be chased out of the building. We would be had up. We would have the old Bill running after us faster than you could say, get out of the building. We would be all over the press. We would have people chasing after us. And it would be absurd what was going on. So it's a double standard gone mad. So it's one rule for them and one rule for everyone else.
Yeah, they knew what they were doing was dishonest. They were sneaking around. They didn't come in through the front door, right? The trustees went into the front door and then kind of snuck them in the back door, from what I understand, from what actually happened. They didn't get they waited until the principal was out of the school to bring them in. Like you said, they put fake books in the library, not fake books, but books that weren't library books in the library to make it look like they were just being dishonest the whole time. And I wish people like this would ask themselves, would I want another religion to do what I'm about to do? Because if they thought, what if there were some Satanists going to do what I'm about to do? I think they'd probably be pretty shocked. They would not want that to happen. And so if they wouldn't want another religious group to do it, then they shouldn't do it. But Christianity is feeling very emboldened right now with the change in our political landscape. And so they're trying to get away with stuff that they would not have even dared to get away with 10, 15, 20 years ago, because they knew of the backlash. But they're very emboldened right now. And so they can pull these power moves. And our schools, they need to be free from religion, because that way it makes it better for all the religions, right? So if our schools are purely secular, no religion gets an advantage, no religion gets a disadvantage. Kids are just getting taught what's evidence-based things, and things that have support behind them, and not religion. The deeper problem with this, I think, is that God told them to do something, and so nothing was going to stop them from doing it. And that is a really, really dangerous attitude to have. There's nothing to prove that God said what they say God is saying. There's no evidence for it, but they can just pull it out of the air and say, oh, well, God wants there to be religion in schools, so we're going to do whatever needs to happen. What's the next step after taking over schools? There's nothing you can't justify by saying that God told you to do it. Helen?
Yeah, and something that just struck me when you were talking, Aaron, is that so people are saying, like, throughout the country that God is telling them to do this and God is telling them to do that. So the imaginary voice in your head is telling you to do things that are taking away, us from a secular society. That's what's going on. And it's like, is it inconvenient that the inmates are running the asylum? Because that's the way I'm kind of looking at it, is that the imaginary voices in your head are telling you that we have the right to circumvent parental consent, student consent, and transparency. Because the imaginary voices in our heads and this magic book we have is more important than actually caring about our students and their parents. We're just gonna skip all over that shit, and that drives me again fucking crazy, because again, you are deciding for other people. We don't do that. We allow people in a free country to make decisions that are right for themselves and their family members. That's what we do. That's what schools are supposed to do. And it makes me mad that these parents, and I'm a parent, that sent their kids to this institution that looks after their kids for the majority of the day and trusted them to do the right thing. And they're basically, and two members of the school board who, are crying wolf, they're trying to shield themselves from criticism, and said like, oh, none of the students were filmed. That's bull crap. When there's drones flying around and students have said we were filmed. Don't try to play that game. It's like, no, you got caught with your fucking your pants down, and you're trying to shield yourself from criticism because enough people got mad that included your staff in your school, and the families and the students are all pissed, and you're trying to be like, well, we didn't know, it wasn't as bad as you think it was. And it's all propaganda stuff, because this particular film company, I would like to point out, their tagline is, what is it? Lost it. Here we go. God, Jesus, and Trump. So yeah, that's where we're sitting, y'all. And I'm just
so unbiased is what you're saying. Completely unbiased is what you're saying.
Completely unbiased. It was fair and balanced, as Fox News. fair
Totally
and balanced.
That's yes.
Guys, I actually found another news story.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, we can talk afterwards, Helen. But
I know.
Regardless of that,
ladies,
goals, guys, goals. But anyway, I found another story actually that talked about this. That was from CBS News, and I actually pulled something that one of the students said. He said that we were all so confused. He's a sophomore named Henry Hawes. He said they came up and sat behind our table and just started recording us. So like these kids were just minding their business. They were sitting, they were talking to one another. And then all of a sudden you see the Netherlands crew coming over here and just go click right on them.
Creepy.
Very. And you know how folks from Texas are so like Second Amendment, protect our kids, God, Jesus, and babies. That chick from Georgia, blah blah blah, yada yada yada. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. But here's another quote that I found from a parent whose child actually attends Central High School. He said that they tout safety and security and then violate the very procedures that are important. So, like I said before, these people care. They don't give two shits about kids. They don't, even though that Miss Walker said in her, I'm sorry for 2004. When I believe that she says, I take the safety and privacy of our students seriously. I apologize for allowing students to be captured on film. Excuse me, ma'am. If you didn't take the safety of your students seriously, you would have directed the film crew not to film students in the first place. especially when it came to not having permission from parents. And I find it so ironic that these are the same type of people who would say, we can't have these particular books in our libraries because we don't want kids to read them. If it's about the LGBTQIA plus experience, if it's about African American history, if it's about anything that they deem as wokester, it's going to be a problem. And they got to have the parents. Well, the parents didn't know if these books were going to be in here, and they need to know, and they need to have permission. Or even how last week that the show talked about how permission slips were sent home in a Miami-Dade County school to teach kids if it's okay for parents to say that it's okay to teach my kid African American history. I mean, the double standard is astounding. It is absolutely astounding. And unfortunately, this is where we are at, guys. But we're going to talk about it even more. And if you want to hear us talk about it even more, look here.